Have you ever wondered how to throw clay on the wheel? To begin throwing clay, I literally throw clay onto the moving wheel. I squeeze water from a sponge and use my hands to center the clay on the wheel. My elbows are braced on my knees, and my foot is controlling the speed of the wheel. I constantly have to keep the clay at the right level of moisture. It can't be too dry or it'll crack, but it can't be too wet or it will collapse. I work with the clay, centering it, and slowly forming a creation. If I am distracted, I close my eyes so that all my senses are heightened to the texture of the clay. If I lose focus, I may accidentally create a layer too thin or pull the clay too fast, resulting in a wobbly, uneven structure. I have to exercise mindfulness and recognize the importance and value of letting go of external experiences and feelings. With this release, I have a moment where I'm only concerned with the movement and frame of the clay. Similar to a lot of art processes, working with clay can be a way to manage the weight of adverse predicaments or serve as an escape. COVID-19 has created a lot of these negative external experiences and feelings. I have a lot of fear for my friends and family, and for the future. I worry about my students from student teaching, for the faculty at Appalachian State University, and for the community of Boone. I know that in the midst of all this chaos, it seems almost impossible to continue life as normal. I feel unproductive and isolated from my friends and family. I spend a lot more time on devices than I used to, which makes my head and my eyes hurt. However, I want to say that in reflection of my 5 years at Appalachian, it is important to not only find spaces where one can practice mindfulness, but also appreciate and value that one needs those spaces. I learned this lesson the most when I was 19 and struggling with depression. Although I was enjoying my classes, I fell into a depression that affected my ability to interact socially and participate academically. I began to see a doctor and work with my professors to create accommodations for my classwork to prevent my grades from slipping. It was extremely difficult to advocate for myself when I found it an achievement to be able to get out of bed. It took me almost 2 years to find the right balance of self-care and work that I could understand myself, communicate with others, and participate in academic learning. I often felt as though I was failing, and I would not be able to succeed because there was no instant growth or improvement. Looking back, I can appreciate the fact that I needed time to learn about myself and to heal. I don't think that I'm cured, and I think that would be the wrong impression of this experience. Instead, I learned to appreciate this aspect of who I am and determine how to manage it so I can exist and succeed within a system that does not work for everyone. The social model of disability states that it is not an individual that is disabled, but the environment and attitudes from society that disables an individual. I've been able to adapt myself to achieve in this form of society, but I still hope for a better space where acceptance can be felt individually, as a community, and institutionally. I feel that this speech is a very appropriate time to discuss mental health, validation, and success. Although I have struggled with depression and anxiety, and did not think I would be able to find a path of joy, I am here today. I have followed my interests in college, which led me to discovering my passions in gender studies and art education. Knowing that I love what I do has helped me raise my academics to a high priority and has given me a lot of opportunities through both programs. I've been able to speak at conferences, work and teach in a variety of schools, participate in research, teach art at a correctional center, and attend a variety of workshops and artist talks, and learn from some of the best professors in the field. I've been extremely fortunate in my journey at Appalachian State, such as receiving the Wilson Scholarship from Carol and Brad Wilson, which allowed me to attend school for free and participate in multiple travel experiences. I was also accepted into the Honors College, which pushed me to work academically and eventually write my thesis titled Queering Clay Bodies. The combined opportunities and my interests have led me to speaking today, even though I did not always feel as though I was succeeding. In this time, we need to validate ourselves and our experiences. because our normal supports, habits, and expectations have shifted. I don't know how I would have managed this pandemic when I was 19, with low self-esteem and in need of support. Without an understanding family, friends, and university support, I may not have made it to graduation day from my sophomore year. How can we continue to support each other and provide service throughout and after this pandemic? As usual, daily burdens include negotiating the demands of academics, personal life, social life, work, paying bills, and so much more. For some, the pandemic has not changed this battle, and for others, it has become an even higher stressor. With all this chaos in mind, we have to be extra caring of ourselves and pay attention to what we need as individuals and as a community. Expectations should be based on how our environment is enabling us or disabling us. For instance, feeling unproductive may just be because we physically and or mentally cannot participate in everything as we did before. We have to recognize the small achievements for ourselves and be open and understanding with how we are maintaining expectations of our peers, colleagues, and families. It is also important to find moments where you can leave these external experiences and feelings to practice mindfulness. Some people may listen to music, write, read, cook, create art, dance, play games, work with clay, or more. Unfortunately, our environment often does not value these activities, although it is through creativity and self-care that often we can find happiness, in addition to finding personal meaningful work. Maintain gratitude for what you're able to do, and work to recognize how our environment can be improved. How can we reinterpret ideas of productivity where we can value personal care in addition to economic pressure? How can we balance meaningful work and our own personal health? During this pandemic, these questions are crucial. For those who are graduating today, you are incredible. It is such an achievement that we are able to finish this semester despite all of the changes. We will never forget this college graduation. I want to thank the College of Fine and Applied Arts for this invitation to speak, and I appreciate the efforts made by the university to celebrate this graduating class for their achievements. Stay safe, and remember that you are important and valued.